Dan Bongino, Deputy FBI Director. We are learning in like the last literally 8 minutes, he is leaving that position.
Yes.
After some tensions, in part, right, around some of this stuff. Talk us through this.
Yeah, I mean, that was, and he's sort of commented on this in Fox News.
And by the way, this is his tweet or whatever online X post in the last, you can see it, I mean, in the last 6 minutes here, 9 minutes about this too.
Real breaking news. But yeah, when he started out before he came to DOJ, he was in this sort of podcast realm, and he was saying a lot of sort of really inflammatory things and making a lot of suggestions that weren't necessarily backed up by evidence. And then, when he came into the Justice Department, or the FBI, one of the first things that he really leaned in on was the pipe bomber case. And I think that that's something that he sort of will now try to take credit for and say, we got
related
this
to January 6th.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
But, what got him interested in that was that he was fueling these conspiracy theories about the pipe bomb, that maybe this was a government setup. So it is just fascinating, as you're pointing out, to have these individuals who are very into these conspiracy theories then sort of getting inside and being like, well, maybe this wasn't exactly what I thought it was from the outside.
He didn't even last a year in this position, though. Is that unusual to see the deputy director leave after that shorter period?
It's unusual to have a podcaster in there in the first place in that position. And I think that, certainly it's usually a person who is a career employee who knows what's going on. But certainly it's a very lucrative other side of the bar here. He's not making a huge salary right now as the deputy director or co-deputy director. He's going to make a lot of money when he goes back to the podcast.
Well, he is. I was just pulling this up because President Trump, I want to make sure I get this quote right on my computer over here, that President Trump was asked just a little bit ago, did Dan Bongino tell you why he's leaving the FBI? And the president said, he did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show.
Yeah.
He wants to get back to the podcast.
And his family. That's been a theme ongoing, that he's been away from them. But the money doesn't hurt.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or watch live on our YouTube channel.